That's like this clusterfuck that happened after Universal, I think, stopped doing Ultraviolet. And so all these, like, I got The Gentleman. I should have looked. I just assumed that it would work with my existing movie rights ecosystem. But I like bring it back and it said, verify this on Apple TV. And I'm like, what? I do not have Apple TV.
Oh, yeah. No,
And
it's
so
STX. So the problem is, so STX is like a lot of their stuff is distributed by Universal depending on where they are, but like STX specifically has no agreements with Ultraviolet or with Movies Anywhere. I mean, Ultraviolet's gone now, but has no agreements with Movies Anywhere. So usually the any STX movie I buy from Walmart because then it automatically activates on Vudu. Although now that might not even happen anymore because
I got The Gentleman at Walmart.
Well, so if you still have the receipt for it, if you bought it through like the Walmart app or whatever, you can connect that to your Vudu account, and then it'll automatically activate.
Oh man, I should have thought about that. I don't think I've just been ignoring all receipts. I just don't take receipts. I was annoyed because I have it. I have everything with my Google Play, so everything's in my family library, and so I have the Nintendo so my brother could watch it.
So I have everything on Movies Anywhere, except all the stuff that like is like Paramount and stuff like that is like Vudu only. So basically, I would prefer to have everything on Google Play, but I have it all on Vudu instead because Vudu was Ultraviolet and it was Movies Anywhere, so all of my content works on Vudu. So but like I have a handful of movies that I bought from Walmart because they were in like the $5 bin or whatever that like weren't bad movies. They're movies that I wanted to own, but like they're still in the packaging because they activated with Vudu automatically. So like The Dark Knight, for example, I think I bought The Dark Knight at Walmart because it was $5 and it's still in its packaging because it came it just automatically joined my Vudu. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't need to pull it out. The Sandlot is another movie like that. I don't need to pull them out of the packaging. But speaking of the family library, so I bought Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy through Vudu. And for some reason, that is the only movie that I own on Google Play Movies now that will not be in my family library. And I have no idea why. I kind of want to email Google and be like, hey, what's up with this? Because it came through Movies Anywhere, and I don't really know. Like, I could probably pay the $15 or whatever to just buy it again, but like, I don't really care that much to have my family be able to watch it. But I don't know why it's the only movie that's not in my family library. I don't get it.
I think I read The Hitchhiker's Guide before I saw the movie. And then many years later, I listened through the like entire series audiobooks that were narrated by Martin Freeman. And
correct. The first one was narrated by Stephen Fry, and the rest are narrated by Martin Freeman. Yeah,
it's so good.
I just finished the first audiobook recently, actually, like a week or two ago. I've listened to them all before, but the last time I listened to them was like must have been like 7 or 8 years ago. Same. And it's just like I don't like I forgot a bunch of stuff, and some of it I was listening to like while falling asleep, and I just like don't remember it.
I had the omnibus, so I read through that several times before ever picking up the audiobook, and just loving Martin Freeman. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, or at least I used to. So I have them ones where I find that the audiobooks where the narrator's actually like trying to do voices are more enjoyable.
Yeah.
So Martin Freeman would do voices for each character. Like I
still
have a really solid memory of his voice for Zaphod.
He's doing his best version of Sam Rockwell, Zaphod, but it's fine. It's good.
I never even thought about that. It's been, again, this was a long time ago. Actually, the Harry Potter audiobooks narrated by
Jim Dale.
Jim Dale, thank you. I knew his name was Jim. I couldn't place a second. Again,
those I also own. Those the problem with those is that I own those on Audible. Which no problem with Audible. Audible, please sponsor the show. But my only problem with Audible is that like I can't Chromecast it. So it's just like, all right, if I want to, I can I can Bluetooth it, but I can't just be like, I can't ask Google to just play a book for me, where my Hitchhiker's Guide books I have on Google Books. So I can just be like, Google, play, Mostly Harmless, and it'll just play it for me.
Yeah, I have, I don't ever, like, when I listen to audiobooks, I'm either reading or I am playing a video game where that's requires so little thought that I can zone out to an audiobook.
Yeah, I mean, Hitchhiker's Guide, I actually like slept to. But I the next ones I don't want to do that with. Like, I want to actually be doing
if I had something that reliably determined when I fell asleep and paused it accordingly, I get it. But I could not do that. I
usually know I'm going to sleep within like half an hour, 15 to 20 minutes. So I'll just tell it to stop playing after 20 minutes, and then when I go to when I get to the next part, I'll just go back a little bit so I can like until the last part I remembered. But it's
practice.
It's definitely like mildly annoying. But like, I don't know. So Harry Potter is something I definitely would fall asleep to, because Harry Potter I just know well enough that I can just be like, all right, cool. I'll just like, if I miss part of Harry Potter, I don't really mind because I know what I'm missing. Like, but with Hitchhiker's Guide books, because I'm not as like abundantly familiar with them because I didn't read them as like a kid like I did with Harry Potter. It's yeah. Anyway, you ready for your comeback?
Don't call it a comeback.
Hello, helicopters, and welcome to this episode of Motion City Podcast. I am the host of the show, Naim Siddiqui. Joining me once again, as always, the co-host of the show, Jacob Walden. How's it going, Jake?
Great. Once again, I'm looking at the lyrics of the song, and I'm like, there's nothing here to say as how am I feeling? How am I feeling? More than meets the eye, but more than meets the ear? I don't know.
Sure. It's funny because I feel like anybody listening to this like in the future isn't gonna know what I'm talking about. I guess I don't know, because the Explorations episode I'm gonna pull out of the feed, but I'm probably gonna put in a little thing telling people, hey, go check out Explorations because this is a little thing that we did, or that I did. I guess I kept saying so many times when I was recording the pre-roll for Explorations. Yep. I kept saying we, and then I was like, well, no, Jake's not here. Let me say I brought on my guest. And Jake will be back soon. I brought on this guest, but I kept saying, so this episode we're doing this. I'm like, no, we're not doing this. I'm doing this. There's no...
I appreciate the spirit.
But yes, I'm very happy to have you back, Jake. It's I'm very happy to be talking about Motion City with you. This is the best. It's great. All right. So this episode we're talking about Don't Call It a Comeback, which is the 8th song off of the first record, I Am the Movie. Yeah, Jake, do you have any particular initial thoughts about this song?
It's awesome. I mean, we said about everything, and I feel it,
sure.
But it's fast, it's punchy, it's got so much energy. The drums on it are sick.
Honestly, yeah. So yes, I 100% agree. Right, like the drums are great. It's fast. I mean, it's a short song. It's one of the shortest songs. Obviously, It's not the shortest. Our last episode was the shortest song. Back to the beat. We're just getting through the short ones real quick. But this is about like 2 minutes 14.
Well, on Google Play, it's 1:52.
Oh, maybe I don't know what I'm thinking of. 2 minutes 14 then. So yeah, 1:52, which
is Together Rolling in the New Year. Modern Chemistry, which is right after, is 2:22.
Yeah. So this is the shortest song on an album, right? I think.
Attractive Today is 1:42.
Is it 1:42? Okay, so this is the second shortest song on an album. Wow, Attractive Today is a short ass song. Attractive Today.
It is.
Attractive Today fucking gets in and gets out, and it's killer. We're gonna.
Hey, so does this one. It's not quite Attractive Today. I mean, they're both great.
Yeah. Of course. But like this, there's one thing too about Attracted Today being the first song on the album that like it gets you in and you're out. But Don't Call It a Comeback. So Don't Call It a Comeback is one thing too because it comes right before Modern Chemistry, which is like it starts off like. Don't Call It a Comeback is just it's fast and quick, and then like it ends with the like it ends with the guitar, and then it's just like I believe in medication, like with Modern Chemistry starting. It's just like, oh yeah, it's just like it's it's such a like I don't know, it's such this like fast paced thing, and then it's followed by this.
I feel like on any other album this would have been the first song. That's the thing I continuously thought about.
You know what? I buy that.
Well, here's actually exactly what I thought about that. It feels like a beginning song. You know, Attracted Today is another very fast paced. Begins. Fell in Love Without You, also short, high energy.
Right. I mean, even on this album, right? Cambridge is also short and high energy.
But this one's just like I just feel like this is a show starter. Like not that I know that, but the other thing I was noticing, and maybe this is also just because I typically listen to the songs in order, it always feels like it follows up Boombox Generation really well. But that might be just because I'm always like I'm used to Boombox Generation.
Because it is, yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like that's not wrong. You know, like it's we've talked before many times about how good the band and Josh particularly is at sequencing. Just saying Josh particularly because from what we know, Josh does most of the sequencing for the albums. So like we know that Josh is killer at sequencing, so it makes sense that it's very well sequenced, you know. It's actually crap. I didn't grab the record, but I think Boombox Generation ends side A and Don't Call It a Comeback starts side B. And if it doesn't, then it should, because that is like I feel like that's a really killer way because
that'd be really appropriate.
Yeah. Let me grab it real quick, but I think that's how it works. It's about even there too. So it does not.
The record. It does not.
I've got the record in hand, and it does not. So,
where's the break?
So this is the like the I don't know if this is a re-release or repressing or what, but side A ends with 1,000 Paper Cranes, which is the vinyl bonus. So technically, it ends with Perfect Teeth, and side B starts with Boombox Generation.
I feel like I kind of get that. I really like the Perfect Teeth and the Boombox Generation, but there does feel like a big tonal split between.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's because this is a repressing, and if like the original vinyl started with.
What does Discogs say?
That's what I'm trying to find right now. Let's see. No, the original vinyl still had 1,000 Paper Cranes as the vinyl bonus. It looks like. This might not even be a repressing. This might just be like a repressing of the original, like an exact repressing instead of like, hey, we're gonna add this on there too. Yeah, I really can't tell for sure if side A in 2003 would have ended with ended with 1,000 Paper Cranes and started with Boombox Generation or not. It looks like according to Discogs, it looks like the 2003 release also ended with 1,000 Paper Cranes, but I'm not sure if that's just the exact same thing as the 2015 one or not. And I can't really see a way to figure it out. So, as far as we can tell, it always was sequenced like this, which is definitely interesting. Because I do think it would have made a lot more sense for Boombox Generation to end an album and Don't Call It a Comeback to start the next one. Especially, I mean, Don't Call It a Comeback, right? Like, all right, now we're starting side B. Like we're coming back to the second side of the album, but you know, that's fine. This is also how it was sequenced on the original release. Oh, I didn't grab the original release audio, but I think it's the exact same. They're both the same length and everything too. So I'm gonna go ahead and guess that the original release is the exact same as this one. All right, so let's talk real quick about the lyrics then. This is a very short song, right? It's like 15 lines total. Um, like excluding the chorus. But so yeah, I don't know. There's a couple of little like nerdy references in here. So more than meets the eye. Our take is more than meets the eye. And
we know
then
they talk
don't
about
call it a comeback.
Transformers. We know
Yeah,
that
Transformers.
it's Transformers, but I mean that's also just an expression. Like,
Yeah, but I think it's specifically like it's also in quotes. Let me double check to make sure
that could also
that
just
it
be
is
them
in
like
quotes.
he's saying that's our, because it's immediately followed up with "it's our answer." Yeah, that's our answer, and in that context, it's kind of like that's what they're saying. Like it's
Well,
it's,
I mean, I buy that, right? But we do know that, like, I mean, Autobots and like calling all cops and Autobots.
oh yeah, they're for sure like Transformers, classic.
And what's that? To restore us like Energon cubes. Like we know they like Transformers. If they hadn't made other Transformers references, if Justin hadn't made other Transformers references, I might be like, okay, it's kind of a stretch. But the fact that in Even If It Kills Me, there's 2 Transformers references at least. If like we might be forgetting some. Tells me that, like, it at least implies to me that this is specifically Transformers reference.
I'm happy to believe this is a Transformers reference. I mean, Energon cubes and Autobots, like those are pretty explicit. But again, this is.
I mean, sure, but like, I still, I don't know. I don't see why
I buy
it
it out of the way,
be.
and I want to. So
because we also do know for sure that that Justin says by will alone we set our minds in motion is from Dune. Like that is, he specifically said that in the McNally Smith live acoustic set. So like that tells me, like, I don't know, it tells me that he was doing stuff in this one, but like by will, like when he says that in the song, it's not really like anything to do with Dune specifically. It's just this time is the last dance, so come on, by will alone we set our minds in motion. So I mean, like, it's one of those things where sometimes maybe you hear a phrase and you're like, that would be a good phrase to use. So it is kind of a reference and kind of not a reference. And I think more than meets the eye might be.
I guess that. I mean, combined with the Dune quote, you kind of figure this is knuckling down on the nerd references.
He also did say the "Don't Call It a Comeback" is a specific reference to
LL Cool J.
Ladies love Cool James.
Mama said knock you out. It's
Mama
funny.
said
I was cooking last night, and I told my
and you
Google
said,
Play,
"Hey Google, listen to Don't Call It a Comeback," and Google said, "Okay, playing Mama Said Knock You Out by LL Cool J."
Did that happen to you
Yeah.
too? It's exactly what happened.
Yes, it did. And now my Google Home is about to play "Mama Said Knock You Out" by LL Cool J, so I gotta make that stop. But yes, that exact same thing happened to me yesterday. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Which makes sense, right? Like 99 times out of 100, if a person is asking play "Don't Call It a Comeback," they want to hear "Mama Said Knock You Out" by LL Cool J.
Who says that instead of "Mama Said Knock You Out"?
Because the first line is "Don't call it a comeback." I've been here for years. Like they want to hear
who remembers that and not "Mama Said Knock You Out."
Well, like I can buy not remembering it's the same song necessarily, right? Like you just want to hear like the "Don't Call It a Comeback" song. Like, okay, cool. Like that's a famous line. I don't know. I buy that, right? Like sometimes, because there's sometimes that you want to be like, whoa, do you know what the song is that calls "Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks"? Yeah. Do you know what that song's called? I know what that song is called.
Hold on. God dang it. I should.
Yeah, it's Portugal the Man. The song is called "Feel It Still," right? But like, if I want to hear it on Google Home and I can't think of the name of the song, I might say play that song that goes "I'm a rebel just for kicks," right? Or just play "I'm a rebel just for kicks."
I understand that. I'm just like, how do you remember "Don't Call It a Comeback" to start, but not "Mama Said Knock You Out"?
We might remember both, but like you might just be thinking of like, I want to hit the "Don't Call It a Comeback" song, and it's such a famous line in that song that I would buy saying that.
I might just be saying something and just like people screaming like, "No, you fucking idiot!" Everybody knows "Don't Call It a Comeback."
But like, like "I'm gonna knock you out." Yeah,
Mama
I get
knock
it.
you out.
But like the opening line for the Mama Said, like the opening line, the fact that it's "Don't Call It a Comeback" is so iconic for that song that I could totally like.
Yeah, actually,
and how many people are
open.
trying to listen to Motion City soundtrack, right?
And
like
if you look at the genius for "Mama Said Knock You Out" on "Don't Call It a Comeback," first it's basically 3 paragraphs of commentary just on "Don't Call It a Comeback." Second, it is full of memes of "Don't Call It a Comeback."
That's funny. I'm looking at the Genius for the Motion City song "Don't Call It a Comeback," and there's nothing, and I really want to go through and add the things that I already know, like from the McNally Smith thing, where it's like, okay, well, "Don't Call It a Comeback" is a specific reference to LL Cool J, and "By Will Alone We Set Our Minds in Motion" is from Dune, and like,
do it, or I'll do it for you.
Well, I'll do it. Oh yeah, good point. Let me sign in and do it before you get a chance to.
Well, I think that this is also something I kind of what made me think about it being a beginning song is the LL Cool J. So wait, did he also say that's a reference?
The "Don't Call It a Comeback"?
Yeah.
Yeah, he specifically said that in the McNally Smith thing. Yeah.
Gotcha.
He even said "Ladies love Cool James." That's why I made that joke.
Gotcha.
Because it was.
It just made me think of him referencing Paul's Boutique on Perfect Teeth. You know.
Why particularly?
No, just the the variety of music Justin was listening to.
I mean, well, he said he saw the LL Cool J one on MTV, which is like, all right. I mean, maybe he was listening to rap too. There's not like a lot of hip hop references throughout Motion City's discography, but I believe he specifically says in the McNally Smith thing that he heard the LL Cool J song on MTV or VH1 or something like that. One thing I do really like, I like the little Dune reference. I never would have caught the Dune reference if he didn't say it in the McNally Smith thing, but. One thing I really like is the sort of bridge, the breakdown. I see that part of this has something to do with mediocre memory. I don't know. We say a lot like I don't know, but there's something I just really like about that line, the mediocre memory.
Also the way he sings it, it's like.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something like when we were saying with Back to the Beat, right? Just something about like the way he sings. Electric Boogaloo, or the dude, it was cool. Something about the way he sings mediocre memory. There's one thing too I like about this song when they play it live. This is one of the few songs that when they play it live, they do something like a little bit, like just a wee bit different. So it starts a little bit different than the album version. And I didn't pull it up, but I can pull it up now. Yeah, so here is them playing it live.
Oh, interesting. God, it's so high energy.
First of all, it's so high energy. First of all, I like that they clearly started with the end of Boombox Generation,
yes.
Which is neat. Like that's really cool. They don't always do that, but this is something this is like a 2003 one from I assume they were touring this album. But usually it's like we don't like endless cycles, but like live it's we don't like endless cycles. I don't know. It's not like a big difference, right? But like you're right. Like I feel like it kind of changes the energy a little bit in a positive way. Like hot take is more than meets the eye, and hot take is more than meets the eye. Like it's a slightly different way of singing it, but it's just like it gets so much more into it. By the way, this song was on so Epitaph did the Punk-O-Rama compilations in the like late 90s, early 2000s, and this was on Punk-O-Rama 8. So I'm sure there's a handful of people for whom this is one of like a handful of Motion City songs they've ever heard. Like this was on Punk-O-Rama 8, and I think Capital H was on Punk-O-Rama 5. And those are the two Motion City songs that were on a Punk-O-Rama. But so this is definitely I mean, I could totally buy somebody like picking up that that compilation and just being like, just knowing, that song. Oh, Throwdown was on Punk-O-Rama 9 as well. I guess When You're Around's on Punk-O-Rama 10. They had a couple of songs. There was nothing on Punk-O-Rama 5. I don't know why I thought there was something on Punk-O-Rama 5. But yes, so this is on Punk-O-Rama 8. So I could totally buy somebody just picking up that album to like, I want to hear some modern punk, and that song was on there, and this is the Motion City song they know because that's the one compilation they bought. But yeah, the energy is just, I mean, it absolutely like gets you in the mood. I don't know, like Don't Call It a Comeback is kind of a boxing song. Mama Said Knock You Out, Mama Said Knock You Out is kind of a boxing song because like obviously there's Knock You Out in the lyrics and just the way it pumps, and I think even the music video, has him like wearing boxing gear and stuff like that. But I could totally buy this being like a boxing or high energy, type song like that you're like, just like getting pumped to this song.
One, absolutely. And I like that. I like the comparison of the energy of the songs. Two, I also like you mentioning the music video because this one doesn't have a music video, but it kind of has a music video.
So the I Am the Movie we've talked about a couple of times with the end movie releases. So yes, so I Am the Movie, if you don't know, is like it's a DVD where they like sort of just have each song, they kind of play a little bit of a live performance, and then they intercut it with things from like moments from that tour. And the Don't Call It a Comeback one, it's just, Jake, you want to explain it? You loved it a lot.
Hey, you know what? It is also very high energy as the band drive golf carts very recklessly through a golf course and maybe some woods.
they're just clear. Like, I'm not sure if they actually were also playing golf or not.
So any of the people in the band seem like golfers to you?
I mean, now maybe. But yeah, it's definitely just like dicking around in golf carts.
That said, like, I bet they all play golf.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they all play golf. Yeah. Although I don't know, like, I don't know what the golf scene's like in Minnesota, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised if like
I do. They have Hazeltine National Golf Course, the beautiful home of the 2016 Ryder Cup. So, great golf course.
Maybe they play hella golf then. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's yes, it's hard to talk about anything but the energy of the song. Also, I mean, like we love us some Moog, and there's Moog all through this song.
God, just the beginning is so great.
And it's a killer Moog part too. That doodle 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 doodle, like it
I just want to stop and just listen to the song right now.
Well, you know what? Let's do that, except with some covers. Let's listen to some covers. We don't have any actual covers. What we do have is a bunch of Motion City playing the song acoustically, none of which have the Moog, but it's still, as we say, no one covers Motion City like Motion City, and no one covers this song at all, except Motion City. There's some guitar covers and there's some drum covers, but there's no like straight up, full band cover or like singing cover. I tried SoundCloud, but it's literally impossible to find on SoundCloud. But so I've got 4 different Motion City alternative acoustic covers, which is, I think, the most we've had since, I think Worker Bee had 3. Although Worker Bee had 3 that were like official. It was like an alternate version.
I feel like someone who's like thinking about covering the song is like, what do I cover? I feel like it's just like, I can't, if they don't have like a absolute kick-ass drummer ready. And
what was interesting is so all of the acoustic ones except for the McNally Smith one are all drumless. There's no drums on any of them. The one of them has Tony like doing the shaker, and then 2 of the like let's do it this way. So I'm gonna go from least band to most band. So the first one is one that Jake actually pulled. This is posted by Pop Punk Nerd 182 on YouTube. It's just Don't Call It a Comeback acoustic, and this is Just Justin. This is at Popsicle Fest in Minneapolis in 2010. So this is Just Justin doing a cover, playing an acoustic version of Don't Call It a Comeback.
Sat back after setback, the need to play remains. God, what you will somehow. I will is more than meets the eye. It's our answer. That's our answer.
So that one is like, I like it a lot. It's interesting. It's very like very much more subdued. They're gonna get faster and faster as we go on too, which is interesting. But you were saying this really reminds you of Jimmy Eat World, right?
Yeah, that was my initial impression with listening to it, and I think probably part of that came from how there are just a couple elements in the, record release that kind of makes me think of Jimmy Eat World. But actually, I think listening to it several times again, I'm more reminded of Sun Kil Moon. But I think that might just be because any like vaguely soulful sounding singer with just a guitar accompaniment is going to sound like at least early Sun Kil Moon.
Someone in the comments says there's a couple people who don't like how slow it is, which is I think it's a fair point. But somebody in the comments says this beautiful haunting style sets up Happy Anniversary quite well, which I could totally buy. I don't there's not that video of him. I don't know if he played Happy Anniversary right after this at this show. But that would be interesting if that is the way it went. If he went straight from this "Don't Call It a Comeback" right into "Happy Anniversary." We played the Conversation acoustic too. That's interesting because that song is all on piano. Oh man, I'm excited to get to that one.
Wait,
all right,
let's look at this up. Wait, so this Pop Punk Nerd 182's YouTube channel, maybe they have the.
Yeah, I'm on there right now. Look, the four that they have on their channel is Conversation, Don't Call It a Comeback, Help I'm Alive, which I think is it's a Metric cover, yeah, and Skin and Bones. And then I don't know if this is the same show. Oh, it looks like this. It looks like maybe Justin opened for the band when the band did the Commit This to Memory tour. Or was this the Commit This to Memory tour, or was this just a full set of Commit This to Memory? I think it might have just been like a full set. But yeah, it looks like it's just like Justin doing 4 songs alone, and then the band playing Commit This to Memory full through, which is interesting. All right, this next one is our favorite tour. It's the Macy's tour.
Yeah.
The Macy's / Best Buy tour. This is them in the M Style Lab. This is just Tony, Josh, and Matt. Sorry, not Tony, Josh, and Matt. Justin, Josh, and Matt. Justin is singing. Josh and Matt are both playing guitars. Justin, though, is not playing guitar in this one. So this is one of the acoustics from the Macy's tour or whatever that was. Man, I can't wait to have one of them on the show and be like, so what the fuck was this Macy's thing? Here we go.
This witness was injured and overthrown away. This time it's the last dance to come on. By will alone set our minds in motion. We don't like endless cycles. Our take is more than meets the eye. That's our answer. Yeah, that's our answer. 'Cause we don't care at all.
It's so good, and they're playing in a fucking Macy's.
In a Macy's, man. Can you imagine the people just like in that Macy's walking around, like shopping? Like, what is this? What is this live show happening here right now?
Don't
man.
cast your pearls before swine, and don't sing your soul in a Macy's.
It's so killer. So that's something that I think that in the next one that we're going to talk about, it's very similar to this one. There's a couple of little changes, but I really like maybe it's just a function of the way that the mics are set up, but it's Josh and Matt singing in chorus with Justin.
I like that so much. I think it sounds
it's great. No, it's great. It's absolutely, I love it. That's what I was saying. Like it's really, really cool. Because I think they also in the album version there is backing vocals, but it's not as prominent. But like I really like that they basically sing the most of the chorus alongside him, and it really, really works really well. I love it.
I'm thinking about this Macy's thing because of course, and I feel like there is. It seems like this could be a thing where there was almost some prescience there on the part of like some advertising VP at Macy's who's like, no, this is going to be the thing. You're going to have artists play at Macy's, and that idea was completely wrong.
Which one is like Macy's M Style Lab is like.
I feel like
women's...
when this is happening, it just I feel like this was that time when they might have just been like, let's try.
No, well, yeah, because I remember around that time, Best Buy was doing it too, and Motion City did some of that stuff in Best Buys as well. So like I totally buy it. Yeah. So I guess I don't know why I never Googled M Style Lab tour, but I just Googled M Style Lab tour. And like it was a 15-city U.S. tour with the Ready Set, Motion City, Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy was on this fucking tour, which like this was 2011. Like Soulja Boy was still almost relevant. Like he wasn't that far from relevant. The Academy was on this tour. Yeah, it's weird. It's a 15-city tour. I don't understand. It's so weird. Man, I absolutely. That's the first.
You know what? Have I ever bothered to line that up with tour dates? That's how. That's probably
sure.
what it would. Surely, there's something related there, right? Like they're like it's just a weird form of promo for their show later that day or that night.
I mean, maybe, but like at the end of one of, I think when he plays, I forget which one it is. It's the one that I've listened to a lot. I think it's the Everything Is All Right acoustic at the Macy's at the M Style Lab. Like at the end of that one, it's the last one. So it's like, this is our last show on the tour. So after this, I can just go. We can hang out in the parking lot and talk. Like we can just chat. Like because I'm not worried about losing my voice anymore. So I don't think so. I think it was just a tour to play the songs.
Well, I mean, but you know, there's that video that I like a lot, and I think you like a lot, which is Justin and Josh. They're like in Tampa, and he's saying it's like 30 minutes, almost, you know, a solid percent of that is music.
That's the one at the radio station, right? Like,
yeah.
That makes sense, right? Like that they're playing at a radio station, people are listening on the radio. That's not like playing for a crowd, you know. But like I think it was just Macy's doing a free tour. Like maybe they were like, hey, look, if we can book a gig in that city, you know, while we're in that city already, then maybe we'll do that. But I think in general, they were just being paid by Macy's to play in a Macy's. All right, this next one is from right around the same time as that tour, actually. That tour started August 8th, according to this Business Wire article that I'm reading now for the first time, and it was a 15-city tour. And then this one is at the MLB Fan Cave in New York. This is Justin, Josh, Matt, and then Tony on the Shakers. What's weird is we've mentioned this before because they did Worker Bee at this one too, and there's a proper recording of that one that we talked about it on the first episode. Is that there's an interview with them, and Jesse is definitely there, but he didn't play with the band. I don't know why. Because by the way, Jesse can play bass, and Matt is playing guitar on these. So I don't know why Jesse didn't also just pick up an acoustic bass. Like, whatever. Anyway, this is mostly soundtrack at the MLB Fan Cave.
Don't call it a comeback. This witness was injured and nobody found a way. But this time it's the last chance to come on. By will alone we set our minds in motion. We don't like endless cycles. Our take is more than meets the eye. That's our answer, yeah, that's our answer. We don't care at all. Long-winded the progress. Setback after setback, the need to play remains. Call it what you will somehow, and I know you will. And by will alone we set our minds in motion.
This is an interesting one because they only have a mic on Matt doing backing vocals, but Josh and Tony are also doing the backing vocals as they do. I would have been interested here. So again, I think that Macy's M Style one, they just specifically were like, no, we want hotter mics on Matt and Josh. Whereas this, they're a lot more quiet, and it's good. It's really good. But like I am a big fan of hearing them all in chorus like that one.
For sure.
But yeah, I don't know. And then this, do you have any other thoughts on the Fan Cave one? It's pretty similar to the Macy's one.
I was curious why they didn't do the full like kit. This doesn't seem like an environment where they like baseball, sports, high energy. I just
I don't know. I don't know because I think all the MLB Fan Cave stuff that they did was fully acoustic. Let me see if I can Los Lonely Boys played there acoustic, but Nas played there, and it was just like, he's Nas. He can't do acoustic. He's Nas. Yeah, I don't know. We the Kings played their acoustic. Maybe it was just for some reason it was a good acoustic venue. Because I'm looking at a lot of the stuff that is played there is acoustic for some reason. They also I don't see any live music played there in 8 years. So maybe they just don't do that there anymore. But for some reason, everybody who played there played it. All Time Low played there, but looks like All Time Low did not play acoustic. So, that's something. One Republic played their acoustic. Counting Crows look like they might have played acoustic. I can't tell for sure. Steve Aoki can't play acoustic because he's a DJ. I wonder
the way you phrase that made it sound like Steve Aoki did play there. Aoki did play there, though.
Yes, he did play there.
What was it?
I don't know. But like I said, Nas also played there, right? But Nas is a rapper. I don't know if the stuff people behind him are acoustic, but I think it's just the guy behind him was playing the record and he was rapping. But a lot of acts that played at the Fan Cave played acoustic. Don't know why. Can't tell you why, but they definitely did. One Republic, like I said, Los Lonely Boys, like I said, Adam Lambert looks like he's singing there. Is he playing? Is his band acoustic? No, his band is not acoustic. So a handful are not acoustic, but looks like most of them are acoustic. Tegan and Sarah, I think, are only acoustic anyway, but yeah. Hold on, wait. Less Than Jake played acoustic there. Can't tell you. Couldn't tell you.
This just seems like just during this period when MLB still had no idea how to socially approach or how to rise in social media, rise in this expectation of some kind of connectedness with fans, but MLB and only the last 2 years does it seem they've finally gotten out of the being fucking clueless. And I feel like this is probably
what's funny is they don't do shit at the Fan Cave anymore. All this Fan Cave stuff they were doing, and it was kind of neat. And then they're MLB Fan Cave hasn't posted a video in 5 years. But I'm pulling back, and there's a video they did an interview with Colin Hanks, which is yeah, that makes sense. I know Colin Hanks is a big Giants fan, so it's Colin Hanks doing a little interview about being a Giants fan. They need to have they should do an MLB.
Oh, it's because they shut it down in 2015.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I thought it still existed.
Why?
RIP. R.I.P. MLB Fan Cave.
The Fan Cave was developed and overseen by Tim Brosnan, who recently left the league after a lengthy tenure as executive VP of business. And Tony Petty, did I say that right? Recently promoted MLB's chief operating officer. Decided to fuck that, I guess.
They should still do they don't have to do it in the Fan Cave. They have MLB Network, right? They should do specific. They should do a late night talk show, a comedy talk show. Scott Rogowski, I know, loves baseball. He's on DAZN, doing a show on DAZN. He does a late night show. I think that would be his dream job. It would be That would be sick, I think. Anyway, this last one is the McNally Smith one. Every time we talk about a movie, we have to talk about the McNally Smith live acoustic set. So this is the full band. I don't remember if Jesse actually does anything, but this is the full band. Jesse's definitely there, playing Don't Call It a Comeback.
We don't like endless cycles. Our take is more than meets the eye. It's our answer, that's our answer, 'cause we don't care at all. Don't call it a comeback, no. This witness was injured and overthrown away. This this time it's the last answer, come on. By will alone we set our minds in motion. We don't like it.
What was that just sounded a little bit like a drum there?
No, yeah, no.
that?
It's Claudio playing drums. Yeah, Claudio's playing drums on it.
Oh. Am I just like deaf to the drums that are happening for the other part of all of that? Or did it just
it
come
might be
in
a little
there?
quiet. Yeah, he's playing it the whole time, but it looks like he's playing it with like brushes, so it's a little quiet. And he's not playing the bass drum, which is probably what you heard during the last part there. But yeah, it's Josh playing an acoustic guitar, Matt playing, I believe, also an acoustic guitar, Justin singing, and Jesse is indeed playing the tambourine. Sometimes you just feel bad for Jesse, like sitting around doing nothing, and sometimes like, well, I mean, he's got less to learn. I don't know. Which one is it that from Panic Stations where it's just like the whole band is there and Jesse's just sitting there reading a magazine?
Yeah, I do feel like Claudio's in that video.
Yeah.
Was it Panic Stations, or was it just to the point that Claudio was in the?
No, it was Panic Stations. It was. I think Lose Control. No, it was Anything at All. It was Anything at All, because in Lose Control, Jesse's playing the shaker and Claudio is playing the iPad.
The leg.
Yeah, no,
yeah, it was. Yeah, the tablet.
Yeah. But in Anything at All, it's dead ass. Like Claudio's playing the shaker and Jesse just sitting there bobbing his head reading a magazine. It's the funniest thing. And at the end they're like, good job, Jesse. Like, it's so funny. All right, that is the covers. We got all the covers there.
You ever listen to Andrew Bird? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
He's he's a master whistler.
Okay.
So have you seen the Muppets movie?
Like
Or
the Muppets movie?
The one with Jason Segel?
Yes.
Whichever one. So the whistling that don't know is that I haven't seen the movie. I've just seen that segment. The whistling that character does at the end, that's Andrew Bird whistling.
Okay.
And it's just making me think of if Jesse were just like that good at whistling, and that's what he'd do when they play acoustic.
Well, it's funny because we know that Jesse didn't know how to play the keyboard before joining the band. Like Josh worked with him at like a pizza place and was like, okay, this is how to play the keyboard parts for the song. And like, but Jesse did play bass before joining the band. Like Jesse knows how to play an instrument. But like there's so much of it. It's just them like I don't know how much of it is them fucking with Jesse and how much of it is like Jesse's like, you know what, like you don't need me for this song. It's fine. I'm not mad. Like it's cool. We can do this song without me. It's no big deal. But even in the McNally Smith one, like sometimes like Jesse's playing the keyboard, but sometimes it is Matt playing the piano. Like Matt is sitting there in front of a piano with a guitar in his lap and a bass. Like Matt plays like 4 instruments in that thing, and like Josh switches between 2 guitars. Justin switches between I think just the electric guitar. And like Matt's sitting over there with like 4 instruments, just like, hold on. Yeah, he has 2 keyboards and a guitar and a bass. Excellent. It's excellent. All right. That is all the covers. So do we have anything else? Any other final thoughts on the song? It's a good song.
I definitely have one because I like the entire meaning of the song, which I feel like we didn't like the fundamental idea of the song. I feel like the whole thing is about the band, which is, well, the full line of the LL Cool J song is "Don't call to come back. What, we've been here for years." Right. Been here for years. No, don't call to come back. Been here for years. And that was just the impression I got. It's like, yeah, this was their album, but they've been playing for a long time, and it's our answer. That's when the chorus kicks in. It's like the whole band singing. Right. Our take is more than meets the eye. Like if you look at some of the pictures of the band, it's more than meets the eye. And also, I mean, this is such a little thing, but for a long time it sounded like it's our answer. Yeah, that's our answer. It's a red flag. Yeah, that's a red flag. Did you ever hear it like that?
No, never. Always heard it's our answer. That's our answer. It's our answer. That's our answer.
It's a red flag. Yeah, that's a red flag. That's what, for a long time, I thought I was hearing.
Interesting.
I mean, you know, what stands out for me is what we said like 8 times now. It's just so high energy that it's just gets in.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say that too. Like, it absolutely gets you pumped. Like, that's. There's not a lot. I mean, like, Motion City is a band I love, but like they've got only a handful of songs that just like get you pumped. And this is a song that absolutely like can just like pump you up. So yeah, I totally 100%. Like, I'm gonna add this to my workout playlist now that I've been listening to it a couple times. Like, yeah, this is going. This is definitely one of the songs that need to be like in a workout playlist for sure. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, then I guess that's the end of this episode. If you want to follow us on Twitter, I'm at Kuhan. Jake is at The Boredom Line. And the show is at Motion City Pod. We're Motion City Pod on Instagram. We never post there. We are on YouTube now. Just look up Motion City Podcast on YouTube, and it should come up at like the top result. So find us there. You can find all the old episodes, and the new episodes will be posted there as we release them. There's also 3 episodes from Wits. If you have not listened to the Motion City Soundtrack episode of Wits, Wits is a show that doesn't exist anymore, but is on Minnesota Public Radio, and they did an episode. It was them and Stephen Yun. They were the musical guest. Stephen Yun was the guest, and it's a variety show. It's really, really good. You should check it out. There's a very, very fun part where they the game is like Flip It or something like that, and like it's Stephen Yun versus Justin doing like improv at each other, and at some point it's just like the part of the game is like Justin has to improv a song with the band, or Stephen has to improv a scene alone. And either one of them can say flip it or something like that. And so Steven flips it and makes Justin improv a scene. And at some point, and Steven has to improv the song. And so Stephen Yun improvs a song with Motion City Soundtrack, which is like, all right, cool. It's killer. It's pretty good. I'm not explaining it that well. There's some stuff on YouTube for it. And then I think the podcast itself doesn't exist anymore, but I believe they uploaded it all to archive.org, or it might still be available on like the website. So check out Wits. And check out John Moe, the host of what used to be Wits. I believe he has a new podcast called The Hilarious World of Depression. It's not new anymore, but it is his new podcast. He is at John, JOHNMOE. He wrote a book, and he does a podcast about it called The Hilarious World of Depression, which is cool. Follow the band, of course. The band is at Motion City Pod. Sorry, Motion City Music. We're at Motion City Pod. The band is Motion City Music. Justin is JCPMCS. Josh is Joshua Kane. Joshua. He is Joshua for Motion City Soundtrack.
And he's streaming on Twitch Live right now.
And he's streaming on Twitch Live.
/It's Chudy.
Yeah, I am Joshua from Motion City Soundtrack. Let's be friends. It's just like, love Josh. He's great. The rest of the band doesn't post on Twitter, right? That's what it was. Oh, Tony at Tony Thaxton, of course, and at AT Claudia Rivera. That's it. That's the whole spiel at the end of the show. Instagram, etc., and whatnot. Tony tweeted this past week, Memorial Day week, they were supposed to be playing Slam Dunk Fest in England, but the world is shut down.
Yes.
So, yeah. I think they want to do something in England, but like who knows if that's going to happen. But hopefully it'd be cool. It'd be awesome. So that is it for this episode of Motion City Podcast. Until next time, it's our answer.
Yeah, that's our answer.
It's